Hello, ladies and gentlemen. This is the Morning Gardener. And like I said, this is going to be just a gardening conversation. Today, starting out, I was out today after getting off work, and I had stopped by one of the stores I usually go and check for sales and that sort of thing on gardening, but didn't see anything. And when that happened, I wound up having a kind of opinion about uh, Walmart. All their plants, majority of them look dead, and they had a water hose out there, but nobody was watering them. So I mean, they had like almost like a quarter of their stock dying, and I just looked at it and said, "Wow." I said, "Why is it always that kind of situation?" And again, it was Bonnie's. It was Bonnie's, um, you know, product, and I couldn't help but notice that most of the box stores, or all of the box stores that are in my nearby me, they are in fact um, uh, Barney's that runs it all, and I just think that's interesting. Barney's is the biggest provider of plants, but someone is doing something that isn't all that great, which is they don't know when to um, they don't know when to tell people. I mean, when to do their research and find out what really needs to be on those shelves. Because I spent a long time looking for a kiwi plant, and the only one places I could find them was on a line, and I'm not paying that price online. Um, because they had some at Home Depot early part of this year, and all of them came in the store, and it was about the stem was that about that tall on every last one of them. They had no leaves on them, anything, and then they just went ahead and died. So the store did not sell many of those, needless to say. And actually, all of their plants, the grapevines, the I don't know who um, made the decision to ship those out to those stores during those very cold days, but they did it, and everything was dead. Um, if you bought a plant and it died, and you had a receipt to go back and get it replaced, there was no replacement. I ran into that. There was no replacement because they were dead as well. It was an interesting day today. It was a very warm day. I still have time tonight. I'm going to put some seeds in trays, and once I do that, uh, I'll have that at least that started. Um, and I want to make sure I get those seeds on their way because we should be past the frost stage, or we're getting very close to it. The great plants I got bubbles is blooming now. Oh, okay, then you did. You got a great plant at what kind of great plant was it? The Creek Walker. Yeah. Let's see. At least opening up. Yeah, yeah. I gotta tell you. Um, oh, okay, okay. Yeah, okay. You like those type of grapes? Because sometimes I bought grapes, but they weren't my favorite. But they were good grapes, but they weren't my favorite. I did that years ago with some not Concord, but they were what was that green grape called? Can't think of it. It's well known. I can't think of it at this moment, but it was a grape that is known everywhere. It doesn't grow real big. And it's really a good grape. I love sweet grapes. Yeah, grapes are good. Grapes are good. Um, I was looking forward to the day when I went out to eat today. I took myself out to eat today, and they didn't have any grapes today. So I said, well, that's fine. I'll get them next time. Um, but you put them in the ground, grapes. What I normally do when I put mine in the ground, I make sure that if they're bare root, I soak them for about 2, 3 hours, and at least that long. But when they come in that little plastic bag or sleeve, when you buy it from some of the box stores, I like to get them out of that bag as soon as I can and get them in the ground. Put some compost around them and water them real good, and that's all she wrote. I mean, that plant will do extremely well, extremely well. And I've seen people go out and they buy, unless they run in a farm, they'll buy 2 or 3 bags of the same grapes. And I say, no, you don't have to do that. If you tight on money, all you have to do is purchase one grapevine. It's gonna and uh, give it some really good fertilizer, get it up and growing. Winter come in, take some cuttings, and then you got your 5 or 6 grapevines. And it didn't cost you anything but for one grape plant. And I think that in some of the stores they're still $10. But at $10, $9.98 here in Maryland. So that's how that works. And so the only grape I have now is called my older grape was Thompson. That's the name I was trying to think of. And the one I got now is, gosh, what is it? I don't have a box in front of me right now. But folks, I'm gonna tell you like this: I have so many plants in that yard. It's hard to remember every last one of them. I mean, it really is. There's a lot of plants in that yard. I mean, we're talking fruit trees, um, and fruit bushes, uh, fruit vines, and that's what's in the yard. So I have to think about it. I hear you. Oh, I hear you. Yeah. So when I this year I got to jump on everything. I'm waiting for the rain tonight because I've already fed the plants. I'm trying to get a jump this year. I already fed the plants, and I'm waiting for the rain to hit so they can really wash that fertilizer into the ground and get them plants up and running. I'm going to do a lot of okra this year, and also I'm going to do a lot of squash, and, and then I also got a lot of ginger that I'll be doing this year. Lots of ginger. I'm just thinking about something here. I don't always give my ginger away, but I give them to certain people. You know, I give them to certain people because ginger is one of my favorite, and I like to have it as a tea. Sometimes I'll mix honey with the tea. Sometimes I'll drink the ginger just like it is, and without adding anything. Because sometimes ginger is better for you without sugar. But I got to tell you, I bought a lot of ginger this year to plant. I was actually asking myself where am I put all this ginger, but I have the ability to put it in the ground. My love, there's only you in my life. Let's see. I have nothing else in the stores that are plants that I need to buy, even online. And I'm going to air layer some of my peach tree apples. I'm going to air layer those and get me more trees on my property. I had one tree to die. That's okay, and I'm gonna put another one right in its place. It's going to be Alberta peach. Ginger on your mind. Yeah, yeah. Ginger's on my mind because I like the ginger. I like the ginger. Ginger is good. Yeah, 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 yeah. So the weather's incredible tonight. I just finished listening to my music, and the way I got my music set up, I got to really organize this room here that I'm in. But I bought like these two speakers, and they like maybe it's got marked on them. They're 2,500 watts each. Uh, and I remember the first time I cut them on in this house, and I said, "Oh my goodness, it feels like being at a club." Because they actually club speakers. You could entertain a whole bar with these because they're designed for that. I mean, really clean sound, really punchy, um, and I'm glad I made the investment because I love my music and my music loves me. So you know how that is. I love music. Oh, and I'm thinking about going fishing tomorrow. It depends on how I'm gonna feel. I'm thinking about going fishing tomorrow. Ah, good evening. Good evening. Oh my goodness, some people did come into the room, but um, I know that I have a few things in the yard I got to do. Excuse me, which is I just got to get the yard back organized. Those trees got big this year. I mean, they're dwarfs, but I don't know what rootstock they're on because a lot of stores do not have that information. They do not have it. They don't care as long as they sell the trees. But that information was not there. I asked one of the workers at Stock Brothers. I said, what rootstock is it on?" "I don't know. It's a dwarf." I said, "I know that," but I said, "Okay." Um, but I think if you would have called a place like if you bought from Dave Wilson, they would tell you what rootstock it is, and they sell in bulk. When stores come to them to buy the trees, that's where they get them from. Stores like that. And let's see now. I did some cuttings, which was four. And when I did the four cuttings, one survived. And, it wasn't a big deal or anything, but one survived. And so that means I have two great plants now, two great plants. Um, and there's another one I keep contemplating whether or not I'm gonna get it. It's called it's Neptune. It's a Neptune grape, is what it's called. It's a green grape with no seeds in it. It's supposed to be a relatively large grape, but to own that, to buy that genetics, you're talking about giving somebody $45 for a great plant. I'm not going to do that. Um, I don't see myself doing that. No, I'm just thinking about it because I could go to Walmart or Home Depot and find a grape sometimes that I want. But when Home Depot brings them in there, they're bringing a grape, and you'll say, okay, I'll get this grape. But you got to think about, is it for this area? How many chill hours is it? To that nature, because if it's got like a real high number of chill hours, you're not going to always get grapes from this vine. You're not. You're not going to always get grapes. But if you get the right chill hours, uh, like if you buy a fruit tree and you get the right chill hours, you might get fruit every year from that tree. But if you don't get the right number of chill hours every year, some trees are not going to produce you any fruit. They'll grow that year, but they're not going to give you any fruit. That's right. I feel so good because I have some of the richest soil here in Maryland. I mean, I did it. I just kept stuffing inside of the soil wood chips that have been rotted down, and that cost me $0. I just had the truck. I wish I could get another truckload, but uh, I got to use up what I have so I can have space for the new load. The old load is a year old. It is deeply rotted, um, and everything that's growing on top of it, where the truck dumped it at, is the healthiest plant you ever want to see. Another thing is blackberry, blackberry plant is so pretty this year because I said to myself I was actually going to spend some time with the blackberry plant, and I did. I cut it off at about 4.5 feet because I wanted to bush out, and and down at the root, it's got a good amount of organic fertilizer, and it also has um, uh, mulch, which is it is a product from the wood chips. And so, yeah, I mean, that's what I did. I made certain that all that is taken care of. Those plants are so. I mean, you should see my apple trees, and I mean everything this year. Everything is blooming. Everything is blooming, and I feel good about that. Are these? Oh, okay, okay. I know what you're talking about. That some trees carry all kind of things. I used to have people tell me that, what if you bring sick trees onto your property? I mean, the material. What if you have a situation where you have vines that were up on the trees that got grounded up, and they're part of your wood chips? Well, yeah, you could do that, but the way I do it, I have them dump it, and it sits there for a year. I don't touch it. I don't go nowhere near it. I don't add it around my garden or anything till it sits there a year. I got that information from a good gardener called Food Farmers Permaculture. That's his channel. And what he said was so right because when you see wood chips being um, sitting in a location for a year, and when you look at the material after it's been sitting there a year, and the worms and all the insects have crawled all through it, it's different. It looks like some of the pieces are you can't tell that they're wood chips. They look like soil, and I like that. So it's a better product. So I said to myself, why keep going to the store buying junk in bags? And you should see some of the stuff when they make it quick and they sell it to you. They go, well, here's some cow manure. Doesn't matter which company makes it. They use sludge in some companies. They use um, lots of wood that's not broken down. That's fresh wood, and then they mix it up with the cow manure, and you just basically have a bag of expensive trash. You can use it to a certain degree, but I used to use it. But when I kept calling the companies and asking them, are any of the cattle that this um, product is made from, is it anything that it has to do with any pharmaceuticals? And can I get that in writing? No one wants to talk about it, and no one wants to give it to you in writing because they know that pharmaceuticals are used, and where they get all this cow manure at from these big, massive farms, and they mix it up with wood and put it in a nice, shiny 40-pound bag, and we buy it. And really, what it is farm waste. Now, You got the blood that they cook and dry it, and that's blood meal. You don't know where those how them cows were treated, what they were, what type of medications they gave them, and the same thing with the bones. They cook them and then they ground them up and they put them in a bag. When they do this, the only thing I don't like is, you know, is old saying go, you are what you eat. And if you're eating cows that are fed pharmaceuticals, it goes into your system through your plants. So that's not good. You got a whole lot of things. Uh, a lot of the foods that we eat, a lot of vegetables that we eat, they're doing certain things with vegetables that will alter a person's DNA, and the mad scientists are making our food. People we don't even know in white lab coats are making our food, coming up with ways to grow this bigger, this faster, with this certain taste, something that's firm that'll last longer in the grocery store. And they're messing with the genetics of what you're buying. Now, when you go out and you get the good seeds that have not been altered and messed around with too much, and you put it in the ground in good soil, you can go as far as having some soil tested for lead and that sort of thing. Um, Salt, and because some people they can't grow anything in their yard. They don't know why, and sometimes it's because it's the soil is heavily uh, salted. It has a salt to it, and people don't like that because they go, I bought this fertilizer, it won't grow. I'm watering, it won't grow, and they don't know that what's going on with this soil you can't see. So that's how that goes. Good evening, all. Thank you very much for stopping by. Yeah, but I just you know I try to do as much as I can on my own without having uh, man-made inputs. All the weeds that I grow on my property, grass that I grow, all of those items will definitely improve your soil. They will definitely have your soil, healthy. And people say to me, well, aren't you going to till your ground? Aren't you going to dig a hole and put this? And I said, no, I don't do all that digging. I don't do any tilling. I used to do tilling until I learned different that tilling, while it will loosen the soil up, it will also give you soil without a structure to it. And we know when you take soil and dig it in it too much, um, that soil will never get better. It'll get worse. It'll get to the point where it won't drain properly. It'll get to the point where it'll actually disturb the life cycle of the biology that's in the soil that's in that location. All that gets shook up when you go in there and start using a tiller. Yep. All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is the Morning Gardener, and I gotta say, it's been fun. I enjoyed this. It's just something I like doing, and the more that people come into the room, and more that they ask questions, and the more that they visit the channel, it'll help grow the channel. So if you don't have my uh, subscribe to my channel if you like. That would be good. That way you see when I go online, you'll see it. All right, have a good day. And this is the Morning Gardener. Take care.